You can have the best message, but if your delivery is off, no one's gonna get it. Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Eamon here. I'm making this video today because I want to explain my last video better than I did in that video. It was called YouTubers Ruining Their Channels, and I think that I overdid the humor and underdid the points that I was trying to make. Actually, I felt unsure about the video even before uploading it. I was sitting there wondering, contemplating, did I really get my point across? Or is this coming off smug and judgmental and pushy? And I thought, no, I'm sure that, you know, people will understand that I'm just using the humor to lighten the mood and to show that I'm trying not to take myself too seriously, and that, you know, underneath all of that, they're gonna get the point. Well, my own sister watched it and told me that she didn't understand. She told me that it sounded almost like I was contradicting myself, and she actually took it way left field and thought that I was trying to influence how these YouTubers run their channels, which isn't what I was trying to do at all. I put in at the very end of it a disclaimer saying, you know, they're YouTube channels. They should be allowed to do whatever they want with them, but unfortunately the rest of my video didn't really come off that way. So I'm trying to better explain how I feel and why I even think it's important to talk about this in the first place. I want to make this very clear before I continue. PewDiePie, Social Repose, and every other YouTuber there is are individuals and human beings before they are YouTubers. They deserve to be able to run their channel just like everything else in their life, with the focus being on their happiness. Honestly, I think that that's one of the reasons why I feel so passionate about this topic, is because when you watch another YouTuber for long enough, you almost feel as though there's a friendship there. And even though you're not deluded about it and you understand that it's a one-way friendship, that they are making these videos and you're watching them, they never actually meet you, they don't know you, but you get to know so much about them that you start to care for them, and you start to actually genuinely care about that person as a person. And you assume that that friendship that you have with them is mutual, because you assume that they're gaining some kind of reward from the interaction of being on camera, and then to all of a sudden find out that this person all along has been expending their own energy and their own happiness just purely for the purpose of giving you what you want. You realize that it's not a true friendship and it's not mutual. All of a sudden you realize it's parasitic and you're the parasite, and it hurts to realize that, and you don't like it, and you want to find out how to stop that from happening again. And yet I'm continuously seeing this happen over and over and over again with so many of the YouTubers that I'm watching, and I'm realizing that every single time I hear a YouTuber talk about this situation, they're talking about it as though they're an individual and this is happening to them, and it's only happening to them, and they're not realizing that it's happening to basically as far as I can tell, every YouTuber out there, or at least that's what it feels like whenever I just hear one after the other saying the exact same thing. And because they are looking at it from an individual perspective, they're not connecting the dots to realize that there's a pattern to what's happening, and there's a reason why this is happening. And it's not because there's something wrong with them or their channel. There's something wrong with the way that YouTubers are expecting that they have to create their channels. They're setting themselves up for failure. And they're not connecting the dots, and the people watching aren't connecting the dots, because all they see is, you're not giving me the videos that I want anymore, and I'm unhappy about this, and I'm going to complain and say that you're a bad YouTuber, which only puts more fuel on the fire to make that individual YouTuber feel as though they've done something wrong. And so that's why I wanted to talk about this idea of these rules that people who come onto YouTube and try to be a YouTuber think that there are. They have seen that every other YouTuber that came before them made one channel, created a niche for that channel, created a shtick, and then they beat that shtick into the ground, right? I mean, you have gaming channels who are only making gaming videos, and they do it over and over and over and over again until they run out of games to play. They start playing games that they don't like, and they're just sludging through it just to have another video, just to put it out there and just to make their fans happy. And it's killing their souls and their creativity, because they don't actually enjoy it anymore. It's ruining gaming, it's ruining YouTube, it's ruining their relationships with their fans, and it's making their lives miserable. And, you know, they're becoming depressed. And it's not just PewDiePie and gaming. I have watched a video that Emma Blackery did on her channel Birdie Boots, where she said, you know what, I actually like my Birdie Boots channel better than my Emma Blackery channel, because that channel seems like it takes so much out of me, and it's not as fun anymore as it used to be. I've watched Ethan and Hila go from doing H3H3 to converting mostly to focusing on their Ethan and Hila channel and saying, hey, we stopped doing H3H3 because it wasn't making us happy anymore. We ran out of, you know, these meme funny reaction videos that we could think of doing, and it wasn't what we wanted to do anymore. And so whenever you have everyone who's on YouTube coming out and saying, hey, you know, it didn't work for me to have this one focus on my channel and do it over and over and over again and beat it into the ground until I hated doing it again. And yet nobody realizes that it's not just an issue with their channel or with their niche that they chose. It's a greater issue with how that kind of setup limits your creativity. And then, unfortunately, you have them creating the same issue over and over and over again, because, you know, like with H3H3, they decided to make the channel Ethan and Hila, and they said, you know, we had fun with Ethan and Hila until we realized that it was splitting us apart into almost being like this split personality, and we're becoming uncomfortable now trying to balance these two channels. Our fans aren't happy about the split. You have Emma Blackery saying that, you know, fans of hers on her Emma Blackery channel are, you know, becoming upset with her for plugging the Birdie Boots channel. And, you know, here she is saying, well, a lot of people still don't know about the Birdie Boots channel. They haven't found it yet, and so I want more people to find it, and so I'm going to keep plugging for it. But all that's doing is just kind of splitting your focus into two things, and now you're struggling even harder to maintain two channels, and it doesn't really seem like a good solution. Or you have what PewDiePie and Social Repose are doing, where they're actually just completely changing the main focus of their one channel that they already have. And they're doing it so suddenly that people are feeling a little left out and they're feeling a little confused about it. And it's becoming a problem for them to try to switch the focus of their main channel. And that's why I was saying that pigeonholing yourselves into these niches doesn't work. Whenever you create a channel, you need to give yourself as much creative license to be as wide open as possible with what you do. And whenever you do that, there's less pressure on you to focus on one type of video on that channel, so that if you don't feel creative in that particular direction that day, you can go in a different direction and do something else. And because you've set up your channel to have your fans understand and expect that from you, they're not going to freak out about it. Of course, you're never going to make everybody happy, and there will be somebody who's saying, oh, I only like this type of video, do this, do this, do this, but there will be less of that, and you can ignore it and not have it affect you as much. And that's why I was saying, you have the power of playlists that aren't being used to their full potential. It's there for you to split your channel into different creative categories, so that if someone does only like a particular type of product that you put out on your channel, they can go to that playlist and look at it there. And so there's this problem with how YouTubers are setting up their channels to begin with, and then how they're dealing with it after they realize that they've made a mistake. I personally think that it's a mistake to give up on what you started completely, or to give up on your channel and create a new channel completely. I think that making an entirely new channel just proves that you didn't learn from your previous mistake. You made a channel, you picked a theme, you beat it to death. Now you're making another channel, you're picking another theme, you're beating that to death as well. And now, instead of having one channel to deal with, you have two channels to deal with, and you are trying to balance putting out videos on both channels on a regular basis, which means that you're working twice as hard, and you're hurting yourself twice as much by doing that. The other thing that I don't understand, and what I was trying to say whenever I was talking about PewDiePie and Social Repose, limiting their own creativity and creating these rules that were unnecessary, is whenever they said that there were games and music that they would like to do but they won't do because they don't think that it's right for YouTube or right for their channel. I honestly don't understand that. If it's going to make you as an individual happy to make a video, then you should do it. Now, if they don't want to make the video, if they just don't think that it's worth the time, like, fine. Again, I'm not trying to say how someone should run their channel. I'm just trying to give my opinion on a different viewpoint that I think is equally as valid, and I'm just trying to open a discussion. I don't think that limiting the type of material that you put on your channel is a good idea. You know, Social Repose was saying, well, if I put out certain types of music videos, then my fans won't like it and they won't watch it. Well, maybe the fans that you have right now won't like it and won't watch it. But if you're putting out different things on broader subjects, then you're enabling yourself to reach out to more people, because there are going to be people who will like it. And so you're just attracting a wider variety of people to your channel. Anyway, again, this is just how I feel, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong, because while I've spent quite a lot of time watching YouTube, I'm fairly new to actually being a YouTuber, and I'm also a really, 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 really small channel. So I don't know if anybody even cares what I think about this, but I think that we should at least be talking about it, because I think that if YouTubers who have been doing this for a long time and who have big channels and are very successful have things that they could teach new YouTubers, then they ought to. And I think that if, you know, we as the fans or as new YouTubers feel like we have something that we can teach them, maybe we're wrong, but we should at least try to. And so I at least want to open up a discussion about this, and that was really my point of my last video. And I want to apologize if I came off as rude, sarcastic, or condescending in it, because it wasn't my intention. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.